Hello and welcome to another quarantine update. Always forget what it's called, that's fine. Which will be filmed in the cavernous bathroom, which I now realise the acoustics in here are probably terrible. So that's natural acoustics, baby. And today I thought I would talk about something that not many people talk about, but we've just been watching this Netflix series called 100 People, and they do all these experiments about things we think about humanity but aren't sure, and it's been interesting. And so I thought I would just take you on a journey of my hygiene regime. That's the word. I know words. And some of these will be normal, I hope. Some of them may be a little abnormal. And just for the record, I'm keeping all of my clothes on. I'm just going to describe certain things to you. For example, I have a beard. So every maybe month or so, I have to trim around the mustache because I hate when mustache hairs go over my lips, and I hate when they get too long here because then I stand and do this all the time because I like the texture, but if I clip it back I don't do that as much. And then I trim these parts, and then a lot of people ask me if I shampoo my beard, and yes I do, and sometimes I have this beard comb that I just comb it out to make it nice and shaped and get the oils from the bottom to the tips. Apparently that's why people comb and brush. Then once, sometimes twice a day, that usually happens because there's too much weight in the awesome gold toothpaste cup. And I use this it's bamboo toothbrush and this spinach power toothpaste, which is green and doesn't taste disgusting. We used to use a salt one and it was so gross. And so I do that for a bit. And then I've actually started flossing once, sometimes twice a day, which is the one thing that dentists used to tell me I was bad at. They'd be like, yeah, your teeth are fine, but you need to floss more. And I was like, whatever, dentist. Like, if my teeth are fine, then my teeth are fine. I'm not gonna like stick stuff into my mouth and make it bleed. And then I realized that the fact that it bled was the bad part. So after doing it for a while, it stopped bleeding. And the lady that lived in this place before left these, which is so easy, but they're terrible for the planet because they're just plastic trash. So when I finish them, I'll start using actual floss, dental floss, that's what it's called. But it's interesting that it's getting fun as a part of my day. But then another thing, I used to live with this guy, he used to live in our house for a while, who was wanting to be a dental hygienist, and watching him do his teeth was fascinating because he did all these extra steps that I was like, why are you doing that? And one of them was he had a special tongue scraper that he would scrape his tongue with multiple times, and sometimes he'd like dry gag because he went too far back. So I've started doing that a little bit, and that is sometimes fun. And then this stuff, you do this for a bit, and apparently that's good for your teeth. And then usually every day I'll put on some deodorant and some cologne, some nice smell. I got this and another one from Jordan. And back then I wasn't really wearing colognes, but one of my friends was like, oh, while you're in Jordan you need to get some colognes. They're really cheap. You can go to these stores and just tell them like a brand name and they'll give you that scent, but it's super cheap. Like I think this was less than $4. And so I didn't know any brand names anyway, so then I went to the internet and I was like, I want to smell like cookies, or I want to smell like this. And none of them gave me cookie scent, but they gave me two, I've forgotten what they're called. One was like Cool Breeze or something, and then another one was more like Spicy Summers or something. And that one sounded weird on the internet, but when I smelled it I was like, yes, this one please. So sometimes I put that on to smell okay, and then beard oil that smells like smoked whiskey, which is the best to smell like. Then if I go to the toilet I use 2 squares, that's right, 2 squares, and sometimes I have to use that amount twice But we were watching this 100 Humans, and some of these people were like grabbing 8 or 9 and then like crumpling it up, and I was like, that's not practical. Why would you use so much paper multiple times? Then I'm currently using my favourite green towel. That is the dream. Then I have, what's it called? Oh, gross. Like dandruff or dry scalp. So whenever I go to Lush, I get this, I don't know what it's called, but it smells like campfire and it makes my dandruff go away. And it's in these cool little canisters. And then for Christmas, Grandma gave me Captain Old Spice shower gel, which I've never used before. I've never used shower gel. So when I got it, I was like, oh, this is pretty wasteful using all of this stuff for just a little time. But then I was introduced to loofahs or sponges, and that made it so much better. So I've learned out of that. And then sometimes I just go back to bar soap. I love bar soap. It's the dream. And then every so often I use, I don't know where it is, it's dark in here, but like a buzz cut. And I used to get my hair done by my dad for a while, and then I got it done by my housemate Henry, who changed his name to Henoir when he would do hair. And then when I moved to Newcastle, Micah would do my hair, and he was the one that invented the like short sides and then pretty much just a comb over or a front mullet when I had more hair in the front. And I've just perfected that over the years, right? And now Camilla's trying to learn how to do it. So she did this one, which I love. And then I've figured out what lengths of my beard I need to do. And then, although I've been told by many people that you shouldn't do it, I use these ear cleaners to go in because that's fun. I think that's all I do for hygiene, hey? I have showers, of course. I love showers. I hate cold showers unless it's real hot. So I loved cold showers in Uganda, but because we didn't have showers, we would just have buckets and then you'd have to do that. And I loved that because it was so hot outside, but then we would have to do similar in East Timor. We were living on this hill and we'd have to go into the valley from the hill to this little creek. And it was like out in public, so you'd have to tell everyone, hey, I'm going for a shower, and then you'd get all your clothes on, just like, it's so cold in here. So I've learnt that I hate cold. And we have this heater that we could have used in winter for the hot water, but we never had to because it didn't get below too many times. That's it, right? Yes, would you like to be in the update and tell us about Bridgetwana?
No, I need to use the back.
Oh, okay, I'll shut this up. 1 second, please. I'm still recording, you can go. Also, the other day, this is completely out of context. Ooh, my coffee, I didn't take that in. There's this amazing bakery in town called Bridgetwana, which is like bread from Bourget, which is a town up north, and they make the best stuff. They do these things called skirali, which mean like shawls, and it's pretty much pastry offcuts that they put jam and custard in, and if you get it just as it comes out of the oven and it's still warm, it's just so good. So yesterday Camilla brought home warm ones. They're like melt in your mouth and they're so good. But they also make these coconut cakes that we accidentally got once because it was my birthday and we went in there and we were looking for specific cakes that they didn't have, and so we were like, oh fine, well we'll get the coconut cake, that looks okay. And then it was the best cake ever, like it was moist and sweet and fruity. So then we went in the other day and they didn't have it, and one of their staff was pretty cranky for some reason. She's like, no, we only do this, this and this. And then this last time Camilla went in, they've changed their whole thing to be like a micro supermarket. So they still do their awesome baked goods, including a frozen loaf that we get to bake. Like it's almost cooked, but then you cook it yourself and finish it off. But also they're doing fruits and veggies. And so they asked if we told people about it. So go to Bridgetwana because they make good stuff. And now they're selling other stuff. And that is it. Hygiene with Jeremy and baked goods. bumblebee tuna. Almost 10 minutes exactly.